Hi, I'm Sophie, and welcome to my world. Well, you asked for it, and I've made it. I got a whole bunch of requests for jewelry. Everybody wants duct tape jewelry, specifically rings. And I actually had one person who said, "Can you make a bow into a ring?" And so that's what I've done. In fact, I've created a whole handful of fabulous rings, all made out of duct tape. And I want to show you how to make them yourself. So for this project, we're not going to need too much. We're just going to need some duct tape, a pair of scissors, and a ruler. However, if you want to get really fancy, you can add some embellishments like these beautiful stickers here that have jewels, or these sticker back jeweled. But you don't have to have these for this project. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making the ring part first, the base, and then I will make the little bow that goes on it. But we're going to start first with the ring base, because the ring base works really nicely all by itself. As you can see, that's beautiful just by itself. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is measure out about 4.5 inches of tape. I'm going to place the tape sticky side up, and I'm going to fold my sticky side to sticky side about 1/2 inch. Just like that. Now I'm going to fold it again, another 1/2 inch, just right on top of itself. So I'm just flipping with the non-sticky side to the sticky side. And once again, non-sticky side to sticky side. And finally, non-sticky side to sticky side. So that I end up with a nice, firm, strong strip. Now, I'm just going to measure around my finger, get a basic idea, because whatever finger I decide to use. I'm going to measure it around, just get a basic idea, and just measure it with my finger here. And I'm going to snip. Now, if you're going to be making a whole bunch of these, this is when you can measure. And here we can see it's about 3.25 inches. So from now on, whenever I make my rings, I just have to use maybe 3.5 inches of tape instead of all that tape. I don't have to waste any. Okay, I'm going to do the closure here. And to do the closure, I'm just going to take a little bit more of this tape here. And I only need a skinny little strip of it. So I'm going to rip it long ways this way. And I'm going to place it. Now, can you see right here? This is where that edge, this is the final edge. I want this to be on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to stick it right at the edge there. Okay, so that there's a little bit of overlap there. And I'm going to take this and wrap it around my finger. And hope you can see that there. I'm going to just seal this off like that. Now I can take my finger out and wrap the rest around. I just needed to seal that off. There we go. So see, this is where if you wanted to, you could use a different color, and then you'd end up with like this very simple little beautiful ring like that. See how it has like almost like its own little jewel? But because I'm going to put my little bow on here, I wanted to use the same pattern. Now, you could also, at this point in time, add a jewel if you wanted to, so that you could end up with like a beautiful jeweled ring. But again, I'm going to do my bow right now. Now, to make my bow, I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use this fabulous cheetah. I'm going to measure out about 6 inches here. I'm going to give myself a little bit more than I need. So 6 inches, and I take my strip, and I'm going to fold it over, and I'm going to leave about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch of stickiness right there. Okay, now I'm going to come back and I'm going to trim. This is the side I want to trim because there's a little bit sticky. I'm going to trim that side. Now, I don't want my bow to be this thick. I'm really going to cut my bow about 2/3, like 2/3 to 3/4 of a way here. So I'm just going to cut this right here. Now this is where you can figure out how big you want your bow, because when you fold this over, that's going to be the size of your bow. Now that might be a little too big. I think that might be a little too big. I think I want to make mine a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to cut off a little bit of this extra. I'm going to make mine about 1.25 inches. That's what I made my other ones, and I found that that was about right. So if I take 1.25 inches and I fold it over, I go edge to edge there, I'm going to lose about this much here. Okay, Now I'm going to just fold this over like that and seal the sticky. So now I've got basically a little tube. I'm going to come back here and trim this little side so that everything is nice and clean. Now I'm going to need a very thin strip of this color. So what I'm going to do is take my tape and I'm going to make a very thin strip here. And that's going to be to seal it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I fold this little tube in half, and then I'm going to bring it back on itself. What I'm basically doing is accordion folding. It's like the letter W. See, I've made the letter W. One more time, let me show you. So I folded it in half, and then I've taken this end, pulled it up, flipped it over, taken the other end, pulled it up, and now I'm going to take this little piece of tape and put it right in the center. And I want to make this as tight as I possibly can. So I'm going to make it super tight. Now I don't need all of this, I just need a little bit to keep it secured. So I'm going to go like that, snip off the extra, and now when I open it up, I have my little bow right there. Now this is going to get attached to my ring. Now it's up to me whether or not I want to match my center that's going to attach my ring to my bow, if I want to use this cheetah fabric or if I want to use the zebra fabric. In this case, I think I'm going to go for the zebra fabric because I want a little bit more contrast. So I'm just going to take a little piece of this and rip it. I find it's best to stick this under first, just to get it started here. So I stick that under, put my ring on top, excuse me, my bow on top of my ring, and then I just fold this up, and then I just wrap this around to secure it in place. Like that. Whoop. Wait, it's twisting. There we go. There we go. And then I just open up my little bow, put it on my finger, and there you have it, a beautiful little bow ring. You know, the other thing you could do with this bow ring is you could actually take that little bow and put it on a pen too, which could be awfully cute. For more ring-a-ding-ding ideas, come and check us out at Sophie-World.com.